What's up, folks? Welcome to Nino's Corner TV. There it is right there. Folks, got a big show today. I got Wendt coming on. You know him from the gear, Patriot. It's the Patriot gear. He's made quite a name for himself on Instagram. He's always got opposing ideas and loves to rant. And he's going to be coming on my show. I think it's going to be an epic show today. Folks, hit that notifications button. Also, Venmo, D-Rod1977. If you appreciate me, the hard work I do, I appreciate you. And folks, today, if you're watching me on X, your stream will get cut. It will get cut halfway through the show before I bring Ian on. I got to bring more traffic to YouTube. That's just the way it is. Understand this is what I have to do. Folks, when the lights go out, baby, when the lights go out, on Amazon, I wrote that book on my iPhone with my thumb. Yeah, I did. I really did. In 1 month's time. Also, my mama's book, The Mexican Mix. Get The Mexican Mix. Leave an honest review. Folks, it's going to be a killer show today. Is Trump playing chess? I got to tell you something, folks. I got to tell you something. I'm getting a lot of information from sources that are within Trump's camp that are with Bannon, and I get a lot from Juanito, I get a lot from the Ghost, and I got different people that I pull information from, and folks, either he's the biggest conspiracy theorist or he's laying down truth. There's big things coming, and I believe he's flushing out Israel and Obama at the same time, killing two birds with one stone, and I'm going to get into that today. Look no further than his truth posts, folks. Alex, I don't know if you have the one where Obama is kneeling down next to the crates of cash, the pallets of cash. You can put that up there while I read this commercial, baby. Oh, yeah. All right, folks. Health with Nino, baby. Yeah. As we age, our body's natural collagen production declines, leading to visible signs like thinning hair, brittle nails, joint discomfort, and worst of all, wrinkles. That's right. Collagen is the lack of it is one of the leading causes of wrinkles and sagging skin. Unfortunately, it will not help you if you're ugly. Just kidding. Most collagen typically found in store shelves don't provide the right type of amount of collagen necessary to combat wrinkles. This is why I use multi-collagen, and I'm obsessed with the results I'm seeing on my skin. Multi-collagen provides the 5 types of premium collagen that my skin needs to look more youthful, folks. I've seen smoother skin, more elasticity, fewer fine lines, and a more youthful glow. Plus, it easily mixes with my morning coffee or tea. No clumping and zero flavor. Grab your bag while it's 51% off now. Plus, order today and also receive a free VIP health and fitness coaching for life, a free ebook titled The 14 Foods for Amazing Skin, and a 60-day satisfaction guarantee and free shipping with your order. Once again, that's Health with Nino, baby. Oh, yeah. You guys got to love my bullshit. There it is. There's the picture. I don't know if you can. There it is. Folks, this is kind of crazy. I put out an X post, and like hours afterwards, Trump put this up. I don't know. I brought this to the attention of my X followers, and bam, Trump puts it up. I was like, wow. My timing must be impeccable. My timing must be impeccable. Folks, you have no idea what's coming, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm your secret weapon. I get a lot of stuff. I'm getting a lot of intel from different sources that I pull from different groups. And what I'm bringing to you on these podcasts is very, very valuable. I'm going to tell you that right now. Ringside with Nino, baby. If you want to know more, get to Ringside with Nino on ninoscorner.tv. Ringside with Nino. That's going to be June 25th. Yeah, it's Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, we're all going to be meeting the Black Sheep family, wargaming the situation, all of us together. Are we coming into 10 days of darkness? It's inevitable. It's imminent. Leo Zagami, June 26th, the very next day on the General's Tent, the Vatican whistleblower will be talking about why hunting Obama is so dangerous. And that's why I'm going to say that's why everything's happening now prematurely. The civil unrest, the Elon Musk and Trump argument, the disagreement on X, that was all to trigger everything that's happening now. The gray hat turned white hat. Big move. In fact, Trump even put that out there on one of his true socials. Folks, Trump has called in a special prosecutor for the 2020 you-know-what. It's all unfolding right now. It's all unfolding right now. X is Nino Boxer. Nino's Corner.tv. I got Christy Hutcherson up there right now talking about terrorist cells being activated within the USA right now for such a time as this. And she's warning America. And that's on Nino's Corner.tv. I got Boone Cutler up there right now, General Flynn's right-hand man, talking about the Iran versus Israel war. I got the Ghost coming on tonight, baby. And I got a epic Patriot roundtable with Scott McKay, Joshua Reed, Alpha Warrior, and myself that'll be on today. I'll be putting that up today right after this show. Folks, it's fire. And soon I'll be bringing on Ian Wendt. And without further ado, I'm wearing his shirt, folks, the Patriot wear. This is his Patriot gear. Mine's Patriot wear. His is Patriot gear. I love his stuff. I'm wearing it right here. All right, folks, without further ado, you might want to turn it down or turn it up because we're getting ready to kick off a hell of a show today. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, baby. Oh, yeah, fire and brimstone. Oh, my God. All right, so what will Trump's next move be? Everyone's waiting. Everyone's anticipating. What's going to be the next move? The next move will define his presidency forever. Inquiring minds want to know what's going to be his next move. And we're going to war game it a little bit today with Ian. If you listen to Candace Owen, you'll think the sky's falling, folks. And I like Candace Owen. I'm going to make that clear. I like Candace Owen. If you listen to her Inside Fighting with Laura Loomer, you'll be distracted and void from real information that you need right now. Don't listen to the distractions. Don't follow the disagreements, the gossip, the fighting. Keep your eyes on the ball, folks, and that's what I'm going to do here on this show. It's time to play 5D chess with the Grandmaster himself, Trump, and the firewall behind him. And I think there's some kind of quantum technology they're using to stay ahead of the game. But hey, I'll talk about that on another show sometime. He's basically illuminating Iran's radical regime, toppling their nuclear program while exposing Obama and ding, 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 Israel. That's where I'm going with this. That's what I see happening. This is the theory. This is what I've come up with, and I've talked to a lot of people about this. As panic and fear and division begin to grip MSN, conservative podcasters, and corrupt politicians, remember, we've been told this was coming for years by many of my guests, and also that famous letter in the alphabet. If you believe in it or not, that's your opinion. I got to tell you, Trump's been giving them a lot of ammunition lately. I'll say that. A lot of ammunition. So, do we trust the plan? Well, Trump has put that out there. Alex, if you want to show that again, this is a Truth Social post that Trump posted. Okay? Here you go. Now, this guy's either the biggest conspiracy theorist or it's legitimate. And it's coming from the President of the United States. I was the hunted and now I'm the hunter. Folks, it doesn't get more. You don't get any more validation than that right there, in my opinion. If you were a doubter before, I think you should pay attention. This is on his Truth Social. So here is the theory in play. Here's the theory in play, kind of making the circles right now. Israel doesn't have enough arsenal to continue this war with Iran for another 2 weeks if it's been gamed out properly. This is what I'm hearing. That's why Benjamin Netanyahu has given Trump the ultimatum to join the war within 24 to 48 hours. He's like, hey, man, we need you guys. I know we started it. We started the bombing, but now you need to step in. And Trump's like, I don't know. I think I'm going to take my time and maybe, I don't know, wait 2 weeks. I think that's the move Trump's going to go with. Now, have I been wrong before? Yes. But I think that's what he's going to go with. Benjamin also delivered, in my mind, a threat. Okay, folks? In my mind, this was a threat. And why do I say that? Because When you say something like today is Tel Aviv, tomorrow could be New York, you pique my interest. My radars go up. Because why? The intelligence agency behind him. And I got to be kind of vague here because it's fluff tube. And let's not forget the Samson option. If you guys don't know what the Samson option is, the Samson option is Israel's deterrent strategy of massive retaliation with nuclear weapons as a last resort against a country whose military has invaded and or destroyed much of Israel. Commentators also have employed the term to refer to situations where non-nuclear, non-Israeli actors have threatened conventional weapons retaliation. In my mind, what's happening right now, and you can take my opinion with a grain of salt, and listen, I could be wrong. Trump is playing Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu. Right now, it's a game of chicken, and the only card we should be worried about is Israel delivering an FF. You know what an FF is when I say that, on American soil. Could a terrorist attack happen on American soil? Could that happen? And then Iran takes the blame? Just saying, folks. There are a lot of Muslims in this country fanatical that could make that happen, no doubt about it. But I'm just posing ideas here and questions. Could this be their last resort to propel America into this war? Bibi says something like, see, I told you you should have joined us, taking them out while you could. This is a very critical, and it needs to be very surgical to dismantle, folks, the situation that we're in right now. This would, if something happened on American soil, it could propel America into war because, believe me when I tell you this, Trump knows what's going on, and he's playing chicken in a collision course with none other. No, I'm not going to say Iran. I'm not going to say Iran. I'm going to put my balls on the line and say Israel. Certain factions within it. I got to clarify that. Certain factions within it. Trump's checkmate will expose Israel and take down you know who. You want to show that picture again, Alex, just so people can imprint this in their mind? We know. There it is, folks. There's the picture right there. We know. Trump's checkmate. Obama. Trump recently posted, all roads lead to Obama. And then he said, public, you know what? Public, who gave Iran hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars to kickstart Iran's nuclear program while at the same time bringing in millions of radical Muslims into America? You guessed it. Vatican whistleblower Leo Zagami, who's going to be on June 26th, my sobriety date, by the way, is going to be talking about why hunting this man could lead this country into civil war, in which I'm going to fire back and say, that's why we pulled the trigger early and the civil unrest started prematurely. This is all gamed out, folks. This has all been gamed out. Israel's doing Trump's dirty work by taking out Iran. Trump's playing coy, pretending he's negotiating a peace deal. He is trying to negotiate a peace deal, all the while acting like he has nothing to do with the annihilation of Iran. He's killing two birds with one stone in this, folks. I see the brilliance behind this. That's what I see. A brilliant, brilliant chess move. Now, I'm going to be bringing on Ian Wendt very soon. Stick with me. This is about to get exciting and very fun. By Doge defunding USAID and jumpstarting the protests, Trump prematurely activated their hand before the Iran attack. Trump took out the deep state's main power play, which was going to be manufactured civil unrest, leading into a civil war. Look no further than Leave the World Behind. Predictive programming on Netflix. Look no further than that. Who is the producers of that? You guessed it. That's right. Who was the producer? Yeah, you know who. Satellite images revealed Trump's dilemma over Iran nuclear complex as the world waits to see if the U.S. joins Israel in its war with Iran. The latest evidence from the ground suggests they would need significantly escalate attacks if they want to eradicate the Islamic Republic's nuclear capabilities. Satellite images show atomic installations were only grazed after 4 days of bombardment. Damage to Iran's central enrichment facility in Natanz, located 300 kilometers south of Tehran, is primarily limited to electricity switchyards and transformers based on pictures on June 17th. While those installations are critical, experts say they can be repaired within months. Doomsday plane, folks. The Doomsday plane. Now, I made a video about this yesterday on my YouTube saying, hey, it's there. They called it an emergency meeting. Things are getting hot. General Flynn said, hey, we got 72 to 96 hours of dramatic and critical times. U.S. President Donald Trump molds striking Iran's nuclear facilities. One of America's Doomsday planes made a flight to Joint Base Andrews in Washington on Tuesday night, according to the New York Post. The E-4B Night Watch, a plane designed to protect the Secretary of Defense and other national security officials and keep the government operating in the time of nuclear war, was spotted by flight trackers. The aircraft departed from Bossier City, Louisiana on Tuesday evening and landed in Maryland around 4 hours later after a long, winding route. The Doomsday plane can withstand nuclear blasts. This is crazy. The Doomsday plane is capable of withstanding nuclear blasts, cyber attacks, and electromagnetic effects, and is equipped with fire retaliatory missiles. The Doomsday plane is a highly specialized aircraft operated by the U.S. Air Force. As U.S. President Donald Trump molds striking Iran's nuclear facilities, one of America's Doomsday planes made a flight to Joint Base Andrews in Washington on Tuesday night, according to the New York Post. Things are getting real. And I think these next 2 weeks I think it's going to be the most awesome time in American history. I think this is going to be checkmate. Now, that's my opinion, and I'm going to be bringing on Ian Wendt right now. Is Ian ready to come on, Alex?
Hey, Ian, you are, what's up? What's up? 1 second, actually. 1 sec.
All right, he's having technical problems. Folks, if you want to keep watching this, I suggest if you're on X, come to YouTube right now. Get your butts over here. I'm going to cut the feed from X and push everyone over to YouTube, baby. So just switch it. Use your finger. It's that use your finger and just come on over to YouTube right now. Are you doing that right now, Alex? Wow, am I being ignored?
No, I'm here. I'm doing it. I think cool. We just cut on X, so we're on YouTube exclusively.
All right, so then I'll see the numbers. All right, cool. All right, go to YouTube. We're gonna get started right now. All right, mystery flights from China to Iran raise questions amid Israel conflict. Several Boeing 747s have been spotted on radar leaving China for Iran over the last week, according to reports sparking concerns that the CCP is helping the Middle East nation transport cargo or people out of the country as Israel continues to strike the country's nuclear facilities. Starting on June 14th, Flight Radar 24 shows that at least 5 flights traveled from China to Iran. That the mystery transport planes had flown westward along northern China before crossing into Kazakhstan, south through Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, and then fell off the radar as they approached Iran. This is crazy. All right, so is Ian ready to come on yet? Alex?
I'm ready. Sorry, bro. I was actually I was hooking your people up, but I thought about it last minute because that's how my brain works.
Hooking my people up?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I don't know, Alex, is the feed cut on X?
Yes, we are off X. It's just on YouTube right now.
All right, cool. Let's see. Let's hope this kicks up on YouTube. All right, folks, here we are on YouTube. Ian, man, love having you on as always. All right, so here we are. We're in it now. This is what I consider the scare event. I think we're in it. The world is on the edge of their seats, biting their fingernails, wondering what the hell's going to happen here. Is Trump going to get involved? You have a lot of podcasters, conventional or conservative podcasters, the Hodge twins, Candace Owens. even Tucker Carlson going against Trump. What's your thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. People can say what they want as far as like, are they going against Trump? I hate it when people say that, when they make it seem like Candace and Tucker and these guys just simply questioning what's going on is going against Trump. It's like, dude, if anything, questioning those things and like being willing to criticize and question and really, not just kind of like fall in line with everything he does. I actually think that supports him more. I think that's what our duty as Americans is. You should not just give anybody a pass to do anything that they want to do and just say, oh, well, I'm going to trust that this is going to work. That's why like the whole, and I'm going to make people mad, but man, that's why the whole like trust the plan thing for me. I'm just like, dude, that's not it. Like you gotta be able to criticize when things happen that go outside of what you voted for and the values that you hold. And honestly, bro, going to war in the Middle East again is 100,000% against what I want and what we should be getting as Americans. Like that, we cannot go to war in the Middle East again. After what happened in Iraq, it's insane to me that people are even trying to defend it. I mean, we're talking over a million dead, destabilized region completely. Like, so I don't know. I don't think that they are going against him. I think that they're just simply saying, hey,
questioning the narrative, questioning what's going on. And I agree with you. I just talked to, and I was going to tell you this before we went on, but I just talked to people within Steve Bannon's camp, and I believe, they're the first ones that called me in 2019 that told me when COVID was going to hit, right? And I shouldn't have said that, but when that was going to hit, and I get out there, get your goggles, get some masks, it's coming, blah, blah, blah. I did that. And then now they're telling me, bro, this is getting real. This is a serious situation.
Yeah,
my thought is this. Hold on, let me finish my thought. My thought is that terrorist cells in America are an obvious problem, but who's going to be the one? Who should we really be worrying about here? And I'm going to say it's the intelligence agent behind Bibi. Okay, that's the real threat, in my opinion. Now, what I see happening here is Trump, and what and it's just a theory, is Trump's going to drag his feet these 2 weeks because it's. From what I've heard, it's gamed out that they got 2 weeks of arsenal left, 2 weeks of fighting left on Iran. And then that is why Bibi's coming out saying you got 24 to 48 hours to make a decision, Trump. We need you. You got to join the war. And I think Trump's calling his bluff, and I think he's going to expose Israel. And who? Who else would he expose? Obama. Look no further than the truth post that he's posting. I mean, either Trump is the biggest conspiracy theorist. We know he's the best master troller of all time. But for him to be putting these truth social posts out, saying to trust the plan, whatever you believe is what you believe. But for him to be putting that shit out there with with Obama kneeling by pallets of cash, all roads lead to Obama, time and time again, he's getting braver and braver and more bold as we go. And I do believe he's going to flush out Israel and Obama. I think that's what's coming.
Well, look, I'll say this. I hope that is the case. I mean, dude, look, I always try to give the benefit of the doubt. Like, I do hope that that's the case because the reality is, bro, most people don't want to talk about Obama's involvement and what he actually, how he was instrumental in creating the
right.
chaos.
And it's so hot you can't even touch about it. Dude. Be careful on Fluff Tube. We'll
Yeah. So, dude, I mean, let's just talk about, if you want to talk about what Obama did and contributed to as far as all the chaos in the Middle East and the creation of certain groups. I don't know if I can say them on this channel, but certain groups that start with I, if you know what I'm talking about, right? Can I say that? Can I say the names of the terrorist groups?
Go for it.
ISIS, right? ISIS, these other jihadist groups, like, dude, Operation Timber Sycamore, the destabilization of Libya. I mean, Obama was instrumental in those absolutely catastrophic events.
Call him Mr. O.
Sorry,
Mr. O.
Mr. O.
Mr. O.
Mr. O, the diddler.
And I appreciate everyone's patience on here. And if you want to put in the super chat, we'll read questions as well as we're going here.
Yeah, he was, he was instrumental in the destabilization of the area and the creation of a lot of these jihadists and groups, and including ISIS. And like, the fact that he downplayed the threat of ISIS for so long when he knew what was actually happening. I mean, him and Mrs. C, we'll call her, right? The freaking Muppets, dude.
See you next Tuesday.
Mr. O and Mrs. C. But for real, like they were absolutely instrumental in creating the crisis that exists over there. And then obviously the last administration didn't do any favors with the evacuation and everything in Afghanistan. And it's like, dude, if that's the case, man, I'm all about it. I mean, if that's really what he's doing, if he's trying to expose them and put them in the light, that's fantastic. But I gotta say that it's just hard. It's so hard for me to get there because, it's the same issue of none of the people and none of the criminals have been exposed really from everything that happened for the last 4 years with the right. Like, yeah. I want to see heads roll, man. I want to see people in jail. I want to see people in the town square, and I haven't seen it yet. And that's been one of my biggest criticisms as far as trying to hold this administration's head to the fire, right? Like, where is the extreme accountability? Where is the complete declassification? And I want arrests, man.
We all do, absolutely. But I also understand, being a fighter, 40 pro fights, man. I'm telling you, everything needs to be done with surgical precision. You can't, there's no choice, there's no purpose in having power or speed if you can't execute it with timing. And everything has to be done with precisional timing. And then I understand that. I also understand the filth of business, the promoters, the managers, the promoter owning 2 dogs in a fight. I get all that. I know what he's dealing with. I guess I can digest this easier, and I can have patience for what's happening right now. What I see happening is brilliance. I'm watching this and I'm going, and I firmly believe with everything that's rolling out right now that he is flushing them both out and he's exposing it to the people. And I think these next 2 weeks are going to be critical. Now, could something happen and we go blow Iran with a bunker bomb? Okay, then I'm wrong. But my theory, my gut is telling me, with also the sources that I'm talking to, that he's gonna drag his feet and he's gonna flush out Israel and he's gonna flush out Obama. And I think this is the power move. We are now in the power play. Have I been wrong before? Yeah. But that's not why people watch me. People watch because I bring on interesting guests like yourself. This is just my opinion. And I hope I'm right.
Yeah, dude, it's the same thing, right? Like, I always tell people, don't just take me as some kind of like authority on this. I'm simply sharing my opinion and my take based on, I do have some experience in it, and I do have, I do a lot deeper dives than most people do. And I feel like I understand this conflict, especially than most people do. But like, at the end of the day, it really is just our opinions. And I'm just saying, like, I always like to look at both sides of the coin, right? So do I believe that there's a chance that he is in fact slow playing this the right way, and that's what's going to happen, and that he's going to expose these people and hopefully put Bibi in the light? Because I'll tell you this right now, man, Bibi Netanyahu is evil. He just is. He's evil. What he's doing is absolutely evil. His desire to create the greater state of Israel in that area has the amount of bloodshed, the amount of chaos, the amount of absolute atrocities, war atrocities that have taken place. I mean, the fact that he's literally had a warrant out for his arrest internationally, like, yeah, and for some reason it's just like, well, you can't talk about that, right? That should be the biggest red flag for every 100%. Single person in this chat, every single person that understands the importance of information and the importance of questioning everything. Like, the fact that you cannot question what this guy and this country is doing, and not the country, the government, right?
Right.
The reason, like, the fact that you can't even question that without getting completely
clear. It's not the people. It's the
no. It's not the people. It's never the people. It's always the people. The civilians are the only innocents. They're the only good. It's the government. It's the corrupt government, and the freaking. You talk about CIA and Mossad and everything, dude. The amount of atrocities that these two agencies have allegedly committed against their own people, against the American people with FFs, and against this region. Like, dude, it's unreal. And against us, honestly, Mossad and us.
I think we are now in the climax. I think we're in the big chess move, the big checkmate.
I hope so.
The finale. I think we're in the finale, and I'm going to get to an article real quick, folks.
Can I say one more thing real quick, though?
Yeah.
I hope we are in that finale, but I will say this. If this shakes out with us going into war again, if this shakes out with us doing the same bullcrap again of, oh, they have nuclear power and just like the freaking WMDs in Iraq, bro, like it will be very hard for you to convince me that this administration is not completely cooked and controlled by this
I would
guy.
not even convince you. I would not even try to convince you, because at that point I would pull my trump card.
The United States of Israel at that point, man.
I would pull my trump card at that point. If it goes in that direction and we're sending troops into Iran, I'm done. I'll anyway. So that being said, that's how you know that's where I stand. Yeah. But I don't believe so. And the illusion of the magician is happening now, folks, in my opinion. Trump is losing confidence in Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, as he mulls removing her from office. Now, I met Tulsi Gabbard at the Joe Rogan podcast. She's a nice lady. But I have my reservations. I think this is all a big masterminded play script being played out right now to show division. I think she's on board with what Trump's doing, and I think this type of division is it's like the WWE. I think it's like the WWE. As he weighs joining Israel's war against Iran, President Donald Trump reportedly finds himself at odds with his Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, with one White House official saying that he has been kind of down on her in general as of lately. The president was recently incensed, according to Politico, by Gabbard's decision to post a 3-minute video on X in the early hours of June 10th, in which she warned that political elite and warmongers are carelessly fomenting fear and tensions between nuclear powers, placing the world on the brink of a nuclear annihilation. She was stoking the fear, which I think, I think this is all part of it, folks. This is all part of the script here. Trump is said to have been angered by the video, accusing Gabbard of going off message and rebuking her for it in person. One of the senior administration officials, quoted anonymously by Politico, said, "There's a growing perception within the West Wing that the former Hawaiian Democrat congresswoman who once ran for the party's presidential nomination doesn't add anything to the conversation." So, could Trump get rid of Tulsi Gabbard, or do you think this is all part of the act? Now, you put your comments in the post. Put your comments, or post your comments below, folks, and let me know what you think this is. Do you think this is all part of it? What's your thoughts, Ian?
Especially with this like Tulsi thing. Look, man, I like Tulsi. I like Tulsi a lot. The fact that she was put on the list, the fact that she's been so scrutinized, the fact that she's been so outspoken about things that no one else will be. I think Tulsi's fantastic. And honestly, I even liked her before. I liked her when she was a freaking Democrat, because even though she was a Democrat, she actually had a lot of more, like centrist views, more kind of constitutional views. Right. But this is the thing that I also struggle with, man. I know a lot of people don't like this. I know that when I talk about this stuff, everybody says, oh, well, it's, it goes back to that whole idea of every time we get on here, we talk about how I think it's so important to be a patriot versus a loyalist. Right. And that's what I believe is core to this issue. And so when he is attacking people like Thomas Massie, when he's attacking people like Tulsi, when he's attacking people like Tucker, dude, there's people out there right now. I can't believe what I'm seeing. There's people out there right now that are convinced that Tucker Carlson is freaking controlled opposition and he's bought by Qatar. And I'm like, dude, Tucker Carlson has been one of the main voices when it comes to all of the exposure of the corruption of the last 4 years, of everything that happened. He got canceled because he refused to go along with the mainstream media. He got canceled off of the show that he'd been on for how long? And then he started his own platform. And it's like, now people are questioning whether or not this guy has good intentions. And I'm like, dude, how many times have you listened to this guy and said, damn, he's on point, And so it's hard for me to see him attack people like that, man, because to me, I'm like,
I think it's all part of an act. I think the whole Elon thing was an act. I think it was scripted. I really do, because it triggered.
The Elon thing was for sure scripted.
Yeah, it had to be. And so
the Elon thing for sure.
Unrest. I mean, that happened just a day later. I mean,
Yeah.
This to me is,
yeah.
But hold on. So Tucker, you saw what he did with Ted Cruz. Did you see that podcast where he outed Ted Cruz for being a warmonger?
Oh, I just did a full reaction video on my YouTube channel. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Okay, I've been calling Ted Cruz a rhino for I don't know how many years
Ted Cruz
now.
is the worst of the worst. Go, man. Not to like throw, but seriously, if you want, I just went scorched earth on that freaking show, dude. I literally just did a full 1.5-hour reaction video on my YouTube and went scorched earth because I was like, this guy is the biggest freaking. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Alex. This guy is the biggest cuck, bro. Like this guy literally gets paid.
Be careful. It is fluff, dude.
Sorry, he's been paid $1.5 million by the Israel lobby. He has been like he's at the forefront of all these different wars and all these different dude. That guy is such a fraud.
But
and
don't
the entire time
Tucker is exposing him on
the
purpose.
whole time, dude. He exposed him the whole time. So again, that's why I have a hard time when Trump calls out Tucker because I'm like, what are you doing? Tucker just exposed one of the biggest rhinos in the freaking party.
But don't you see it's part of the act? I mean, this is all a big WWE, man. This
hope so, bro.
This is what they mean by enjoy the show, bro. This is it.
Look, like I said, I sure hope so, but man, that was a hard one to stomach because that exposure when like Tucker taking that guy down was dude, it was surgical. I mean, he made him look like an absolute clown over and over. And then he got
you don't even know the population of Iran, the country you're trying to topple. And he's like, well, do you know it? He's like, yeah, 92 million. Didn't he say 90? Yeah.
Well, dude, okay, but the other thing too, so we're talking about how the next 2 weeks are going to decide blah, 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 right? Okay, we need to mention this though. For the last week, the administration, Trump himself, have been saying, we're not going to war. We're not going to get involved in this conflict, blah, blah, blah. Bro, Tucker straight up caught Ted Cruz with his pants down.
Yep.
And I don't know if you can play this clip, but Ted Cruz straight up admitted he slipped and he said, we are bombing them right now. And he goes,
when did he say this?
I mean, Israel is. We're funding it, but Israel is.
Right.
Dude, like, so again, man, that's why it's hard to take. I'm just like, okay,
I'm keeping my faith. Look, it is faith, but I think I have pretty good sources on this, and I do have a strategic mind from boxing, and I believe this is how it's going to play out. Hold your thought 1 second, Ian. The jacked guerrilla general. Have you heard of this guy, bro? Pushing Trump to strike Iran. Michael Correa said to be power behind the throne as U.S. President mulls over direct military action. Shots fired, shouted General Michael Correa moments before charging towards the sound of gunfire to save 2 junior officers, weaving through the rubble-strewn alleyways of war-torn Mosul, Iraq. And then Lieutenant Colonel was pursuing a group of terrorist suspects when 3 more shots rang out. Taking bullets to the arm and both legs, one snapping his femur in half, he performed a judo roll and carried on firing with his rifle. Witnesses say, as the gunfire continued, he covered his troops and reeled off orders while bleeding on the concrete floor. Nearly 20 years later, General Correa, who was awarded the Bronze Star for Valor and now heads the U.S. Military Central Command, CENTCOM, is once again leading the fight in the Middle East, this time against Iran. Known to be Israel's favorite general and nicknamed the Gorilla, General Correa is understood to have been given unusual levels of authority by Pete Hegseth, the U.S. Defense Secretary, to determine the American response to the escalating Israel-Iran war. The 59-year-old has apparently overruled other top Pentagon officials in managing the crisis and has had nearly all his requests approved for more weapons and air defenses for the region, multiple sources told this syndicate. More than 6 feet tall and jacked is how they say he is. Muscular general certainly looks the part and is known for his abrasive approach. He was investigated by the Army last year for allegedly showing a military crew member, although the outcome is not clear. According to one former official, the tough guy persona and commanding physical presence give General Correa powerful influence over the U.S. Defense Secretary. He's a big dude. He's jacked. He's exactly this lethal. He is lethal. Donald Trump and Mr. Hegseth are going for is what they're going for. The ex-official told Politico. So this guy's pushing the Iran-Israel conflict. He wants He wants them to go all in, this guy. And for some reason, I don't know why this guy's even making headlines. They're really trying to push. And what I think is happening here, the guys like this, people like this, they are being smoked out right now. And I know it's hard to see right now, but I believe these rhinos, like what Tucker Carlson did with Ted Cruz, this guy right here, they're being smoked out, these warmongers. What's your thoughts on that, Ian?
I mean, dude, like, I hope that that's what's going on, but so many of these people want war because of one freaking thing.
Profit.
Money.
Yeah.
It's money, dude. These people stand to gain so much money from this war. They're not going to go boots on the ground. Their kids aren't going to go boots on the ground. They're going to send our kids and us boots on the ground if it ends up being that. And that's all it is. It's a money play and it's a resource play. I saw a meme the other day that was really funny. I posted on my Instagram story. It had it was a meme from the Lord of the Rings, and it was Frodo looking at the ring, and it said Iran has oil, and then underneath Frodo it said it appears Iran has nuclear weapons, because it's like it's the same play, right? We say they have this so that we can go in and get that, and it's it's crazy to me that people just can't see that. So people like this dude, it's just that he's just another warmonger. He's another cog in the wheel of trying to get that machine turning, because it's like Julian Assange said, they don't want successful wars. They want endless wars.
Here it says, Trump caution on Iran strike leaked to doubts over bunker buster bomb. Donald Trump has suggested to defense officials it would make sense for the U.S. to launch strikes against Iran only if the so-called bunker buster bomb was guaranteed to destroy the critical uranium enrichment facility in Fordow, according to people familiar with the deliberations. Trump was told that dropping the GBU-57, a 13.6-ton bomb, would effectively eliminate Fordow, but he does not appear to be fully convinced. Everything is contingent on what Trump is going to do right now. Everything. And if he does decide to strike Iran, and my theory is incorrect, if he does decide to strike Iran, I'm going to say they're waiting for Trump to make that decision. And once he makes that decision, I believe we have terrorist attacks on our soil.
Oh, dude, it's a guarantee. I mean, it's a guarantee. I'll tell you this, though, that's going to happen no matter what, because even if he decides not to go there, I do believe that there are other forces behind the scenes that are going to try and create even more chaos in the United States to push us into that war no matter what. I mean, if for some reason Trump doesn't do that, right? If he does what we hope he's going to do, and he's really trying to stay out of that war and expose these people, then, to the credit of all those people who do say, who do talk about the deep state and everything, the deep state 100% will continue to try and push us into that war in order to destabilize Trump and his administration. I mean, to basically ruin Trump's administration and make it even harder for him, right? Like that's a guarantee. But it's just this whole conflict, and the fact that people are still kind of like anybody is taking it hook, line, and sinker. Dude, Netanyahu has been saying for 30 plus years that Iran is close to having a nuclear bomb. Literally 30 plus years. You can go, there's videos online right now. You can go back and they have traced over the last 30 years. He said it like 10, 15 times in different years throughout the 30 years about how Iran is this close to having a nuclear bomb. Iran is this close to, just like he said back in 2000, or when was it that he was talking about Iraq having weapons of mass destruction. Like, it's the same damn play. And now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, when this whole conflict is starting to kick off, now we find the nuclear facilities, and now all of a sudden they are that much closer to having these weapons. It's like, I don't know, man. To me, it's just too easy. To me, it's just too much of a blunder, right? It's too perfect. There's too many coincidences. And like anybody else that's listening to this, right? Like, you got to ask yourself, at what point is too many coincidences too many? At what point does the coincidences make it not a coincidence?
I agree. Says here, Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. How do you say his name? Khamenei?
Whatever that was.
What is it? Anyway, can no longer be permitted to exist. Israel Defense Minister Israel Katz declared Thursday morning after an Iranian missile struck a hospital, wounding dozens. openly declares he wants Israel destroyed. He personally gives the order to fire on hospitals. He considers the destruction of the state of Israel to be the goal. Now, I have the question. Who really destroyed that hospital? Now, don't say it, Ian. I'm just saying, was it Iran? I don't know. I'm just posing a question. You never know. We're dealing with intense, serious, sinister evil here, folks. When you know, you know. And that's all I'm going to say on that.
I'm not sure if you guys know this, but they just revealed that. Please. What's that?
Be careful.
Yeah, I will. Well, they just revealed that one of the top officials in the Iranian, one of the top Iranian executives was actually working for Mossad. Yeah. So it's like, dude, these people are so good at orchestrating these events and being on both sides of it, and then making it seem like it's one-sided. That's been the MO for Israel for literally 70 years.
And that's why these next 2 weeks are going to be so important and so crucial. And I think Trump knows what he's doing here.
There you go. There it is.
Wow, there it is.
There it is, man.
Head of Iranian unit. There you go. Yeah. If Iran collapses, regime officials are likely to flee to Canada. With the Islamic Republic of Iran seemingly on the edge of collapse, there's a good chance its surviving inner circle may attempt to flee to Canada. Article content says here that according to security analyst Casey Babb, and it follows a lengthy track record of Canada serving as a covert haven for Iranian regime officials. Well, not just Canada, Russia. I've heard Russia's taking them in as well. And we see Chinese flights going into Iran as well, right, Ian?
Yeah, for sure. And I just saw, sorry, I was reading the comments, actually. I saw somebody say something about Epstein. I mean, dude, I don't know how much you talk about that on here. I don't know if you can on YouTube or whatever, but like, that's the other piece of this,
Yeah, that is a huge piece.
And that is the piece that nobody seems to, it's just kind of, it's like, it's there, but like for some reason, nobody really wants to talk about it. And to me, that is the key to everything. It's not beating a dead horse. It is literally the key, because if we don't get those files, if we don't get declassification of the Epstein issue, we already know it's a blackmail. We already know that. It's not even a question anymore. It has been proven so many times through so many sources that the Epstein blackmail operation was 100% orchestrated by the CIA and Mossad. Okay? In order to get our politicians, our influencers, our celebrities, and the people with the most power, bank owners, et cetera, to be completely compromised and therefore have to bend the knee to Israel and Bibi. And
I'm going to bet you it comes after this. The dust settles with this situation. I bet you that comes right now.
I hope so, because if it doesn't, it's like that's the key. That is
I think Elon was the key, and that's why Trump handed him the key, because when Elon received that key and he showed up with a black eye, he's a gray hat, and Trump said this on his Truth Social post: "Gray hat turned white hat." Or on one of the Trump posts affiliated with Trump. People can look this up, Donaldo Trump or whatever it was. It's one of those. I can't name it right now. But what I'm saying is, what I believe happened was Elon, they thought he went back into the black hats, and they said, okay, now's the time. Go. He just said Trump was on the list. Bam, they kick off the civil unrest, and then Elon comes out and apologizes, and they're like, oh, shit, false start. That's what I think happened. I do believe that's what happened, and I believe Elon was the key. Let me know your thoughts down below, and give me your thoughts below. Also, folks, FBI Director Kash Patel has increased efforts to monitor possible domestic sleeper cells linked to Hezbollah, a U.S.-designed designated foreign terrorist organization backed by Iran since Israel's Operation Rising Lion offensive began, U.S. officials said. Former Israeli space security chief says extraterrestrials exist, and Donald Trump knows all about it. Here comes the alien card, man. Now, this is an older article, but this to me is like, all right, they're getting ready. What comes after Iran and Israel? It has to be the aliens.
Right? We're going to bring the aliens in. Dude, you know what's interesting, though, about the whole alien thing? Like, over the last 2 or 3 years, there's actually been so many different press conferences and so many different times where they've 100% talked about how there are aliens and how we have alien technology and all the different things that have been declassified. And it's so funny because it completely goes under the radar because they cover it up with something else in the news. But go look at the last 2 or 3 years, how many times it's been talked about. They have blown the whistle on this so many times, especially if you listen to like the Sean Ryan show, he's talked about it a bunch with different guests. I mean, it's an absolute fact that it's real, that there are aliens and that we have alien technology.
You're a Mormon, correct?
Yeah, LDS.
All right, but do you believe they're aliens, or do you believe they're demonic?
No, I believe they're people. I believe that they're just another race of humans. I believe everything and everyone is created in God's image, and but here's the thing: that's not to say that they're not like way farther ahead in technology or they look a little different, right? Like, there's people that look different than other people. Maybe these people don't have. I
agree with that, but don't you think the government's going to play the alien card? And would you believe that they could, or could you think that they are the fallen masquerading as aliens when they're really the demonic fallen, the fallen angels coming here to masquerade as our lowercase g gods? Could you say that maybe they are the fallen masquerading as aliens?
I don't know that I can speak on that as much because I'm not super well versed in that ideology, but I would say, look, at this point, I think anything's possible. But what I don't think is possible is I don't think that there are a bunch of, weird looking green people that have giant antennas and stuff like that. Like, I think it's just another race, another civilization of people that have existed parallel to our universe and that we are going to find eventually and we're going to connect with. And they're either going to be, hostile or whatever. Like, it's just going to be like anything else. It's going to be like discovering another civilization.
I think that's possible. And I think I agree with you, but do you think that the government's going to be using a false alien invasion?
Oh, like Blue Beam? Do I think Blue Beam's a real thing?
Yes.
I think Blue Beam's 100% a possibility. I mean, if it gets bad enough, that Blue Beam card could absolutely be pulled. But then again, dude, like I said, I think anything's possible at this point with the government. You know what I mean? Like, they will do anything. And when I say the government, I mean the freaking deep state, guys. Whoever's part of the deep state, whoever's actually pulling the strings and controlling all of this, like, I think that they are so hell bent on keeping that control that they'll do anything. They'll do anything, and they'll take any amount of life, and it's everything. Nothing is off the table for these people. So
right. I think they're following prophecy, the whole red heifer thing, the Solomon Temple, I think they're following prophecy. And I think, in my opinion, I think they're going to bring whatever entities these are. It's going to be a manufactured arrival, and it's going to be played out to the American people like, oh, see, told you aliens exist, and they are what seeded the planet. Whether that's true or not, they're going to use it to their benefit to bring in a one world government, in my opinion. That's how. Well,
and the thing is, Blue Beam isn't just about aliens. I mean, I think that's a key point that people miss when they talk about Operation Blue Beam or Project Blue Beam. It's the idea behind Project Blue Beam is that they're going to use an alien invasion to convince the world that that their deity has come. Right. Whether it's Jesus, whether it's whatever, right? Like, the whole idea is to create one world religion. And because you're able to create one world religion, you're able to create one world order, because everyone, for the most part, falls under some type of religion, which is exactly why they use religion so much to control us.
That's why Albert Pike said the 3 world wars.
Yes.
Christianity, Muslim,
Pike's prediction is definitely
it's his plan. His plan. Wild. Have them fight and get rid of them all at first. The holy wars. That's what they're trying to kick off right now. Is the holy wars, the radical Muslims, the Christians, the atheists, all of it. That's what we're in right now. That's what they're trying to perpetuate and throw gasoline on the fire. That's where we're at right now. U.S. will strike North Korea. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's why you have to be so careful when it comes to these conflicts, religious conflicts. You have to be careful about what you're believing and what you're buying into, because just understand that so much of this religious conflict is completely manufactured. And the reason why is because these people know that there's two main things that get people riled up enough to create enough distraction, enough discord, enough chaos, and enough divide for them to control us, which are race and religion.
Correct. I agree. That's the controlling factors. U.S. will strike North Korea if South Korea is attacked with nukes. South's spy chief nominee says. South Korea's nominee for spy agency director said on Thursday he believed the United States would strike North Korea with nuclear weapons if Pyongyang launched a nuclear attack.
You need to do a full episode where you just try to pronounce names, David.
If I can't, I just try to get the accent right, and I think the rest will figure it out itself.
That would be racist.
Nuclear attack against South Korea. Lee Jong-song made the comment during a nomination hearing in answer to a question if he believed Washington would strike north and put Americans at risk from a country even Pyongyang has deployed intercontinental ballistic missiles. Yes, that is my belief, Lee said, after saying the hypothetical scenario of South Korea coming under attack from North Korea. So the whole world's heating up right now. I mean, here we are. We're in it.
Well,
this is
you know what?
It's only going to climax and escalate.
Well, let's talk about something really quick because I don't know that people are necessarily paying attention to exactly what. So first of all, I'm just going to say this. This whole idea of like we're going to start World War III or we're going to enter World War III started years ago. It's just not a war of bombs, missiles, and guns. It's a war of information, and it's a war of control. It's a long game war. But we have been in World War III for years and years. It's just a matter that it hasn't materialized physically yet. But like, look at what's happening right now. Okay, you have basically a forefront war beginning to materialize. You have the Middle East. Okay, then you have, everybody kind of forgets about the Ukraine-Russia deal. That's still going on. It's not like it just went away. They just stopped talking about it because it doesn't create as much headline. And because it doesn't profit us as much, right? It profited the Democrats, so they switched it. But Ukraine-Russia is still going on. Guess what? As the focus goes on the Middle East, what do you think Putin's going to do? He's probably going to just do what he's wanted to do and freaking go through, right? So now you have two potential fronts right there, okay? Then on top of that, that's two. Then you have Europe. And something that people are not talking about, we talk about the United States and the potential repercussions that are going to come from getting involved in the Middle East with the United States. Well, you're not considering the fact that, do you know how much of Europe has been overrun by radical Islamists? Do you know how many radical Islamists are in
70% of it or something crazy?
Bro, it is, yes. So people aren't talking about this, but Europe is going to it's a powder keg. It's going to explode. And I predict that that's going to happen long before the United States. So now you have three fronts. Okay. So
we're not even talking about China yet.
I'm not even talking about China because China's playing the long game. China's not there yet because we're still working with them. Right. But the fourth front is us. We talk about the
happening right now domestically with the civil unrest.
And it's not only that, it's everybody that came, it's the sleeper cells that you've talked about, right? It's the sleeper cells. It's all the things that came into this country. And this has been the plan from the beginning, guys. They are setting up a forefront war. And I promise you that if Trump goes into this war, if we enter Middle East, it is not just a Middle Eastern conflict. This is not just a 20-year Afghanistan war. This is a world conflict. This is a world war. Because what's going to happen, everybody in here talking about biblical prophecy. Biblical prophecy is that all nations are going to turn against Israel in the last days, right? Okay, well, let me just give you some food for thought. If the United States continues to be the greatest ally to Israel, and we continue to give them all the money and all the aid they need to be able to do what they're doing, which many countries are starting to realize is not good and is actually exactly what we fight, right? It's military conquest, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. If the United States is the one nation that continues to support that, what do you think is going to happen when all the other countries turn against the nation of Israel? They're not turning just against Israel. They're turning against the United States.
And
we then become,
With that being said, Trump administration boosts monitoring of possible Iran-backed cells in U.S. as Trump weighs strikes. So as he's weighing the strikes right now, this 2-week period, they're monitoring the cells inside the U.S. So as President Trump is contemplating potential U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities, law enforcement officials have stepped up surveillance of Iran-backed operatives in the United States, multiple sources told CBS News. FBI Director Kash Patel has increased efforts to monitor possible domestic sleeper cells linked to Hezbollah, a U.S. designated foreign terrorist organization backed by Iran. Since Israel's Operation Rising Lion offensive began earlier this month, the U.S. officials said both the White House and FBI declined to comment. The threat from Iranian operatives has worried current and former administration officials since Iranian General Qassem Soleimani was assassinated on Mr. Trump's orders in January of 2020. So, yeah, big possibility. Shit can pop off here any day.
And here's the other thing that we haven't, you said we haven't mentioned China. I feel like people just kind of forgot about this, but do we not remember all the stuff about China owning farmland in our country, and that farmland just coincidentally seems to be right next to some of our military bases?
Correct.
Like, here's the thing, dude. Our country has gotten so soft, and I'm not even just talking about like the woke ideology or whatever. That's a part of it. That's all part of it. And that's why when I say that China's been playing the long game, they have. Their long game has been, first, we need to destabilize this country. We need to make them hate each other. We need to make them dumb. We need to make them apathetic. We need to make them entitled, right? Because what happens with apathy and entitlement and divide is weakness. We become weak, and we become susceptible to getting comfortable. It creates comfort. And the worst thing that you can have in a nation when it comes to being a superpower is comfort. And the reality is we have gotten very, very comfortable. I think the majority of people in the United States believe that we are not susceptible to something like an invasion or something like a major attack. And that is exactly where our enemies need us to be. And that's why
what happened the last 4 years with Biden.
100%, dude. And that's why
it's the Trojan horse.
Yes. And I believe that there's a lot of Trojan horses in our country right now.
Was that the map of the of America's Chinese farmland, Alex?
Yeah, look at that, dude. And
wow.
look at where the farmland is, okay? Because it's not just a matter of how much farmland is owned.
California.
And then we're not even talking about the real estate that they own. But look at where this is. It's right next to so many of our military bases. Oh, and then by the way, did everybody just forget about the Chinese spy balloon that flew over our country and coincidentally flew over all of our nuclear sites?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
look at that.
Y'all better get prepared because shit's about to hit the fan.
Chinese-owned farmland. Look at that. Wow. All mainly California. Wow. Yep. And New Mexico. Yep. Oh, no, there's not Arizona. I see some in Florida, Texas, obviously. Nothing really in West Texas. That's pretty wow, that's amazing.
Well, and this, but again, this isn't even covering the real estate. I mean, I don't know if you can pull up the real estate stuff too, but the amount of real estate that the Chinese own in our country is absolutely insane.
Why do you think everyone feels entitled to the USA? Because everyone has a stake here. That's why.
For sure.
Yeah, that's why everyone's entitled to USA. It's like the whore everyone uses.
That's right. And we keep allowing it. And that's been my dude. Again, that's my biggest criticism, right? If you guys go listen to that reaction video that I just made from Tucker, it's all I talked about. I talked about America first, because listen, this is the reality of where we are. Okay. I voted and I have continued to vote for America first. And America first means we take care of us before anyone else. It's not isolationism. It's not America only. I'm not saying that we should leave people hanging out to dry. I'm not saying that we shouldn't help other nations and we shouldn't continue to be the superpower. What I'm saying is we have two broken arms. We cannot lift anybody up off the ground. We have to fix our arms first. We have homeless. We have veterans that have been completely forgotten. We have problems with our food, which is getting closer to getting fixed, but not really. We have massive sickness, cancer, all kinds of issues with that. We have our economy's getting better, but it's still not anywhere near where it needs to be, right? We have our infrastructure, like we have so many issues in our country, and all of the money that we are sending to Israel right now should be us. Billions and billions of dollars. It should be spent on us, because guess what? Taxation's already theft, okay? But without even going into that, and this is what I said on this video, the least these people could freaking do is use my money that I'm spending to fix my problems. Use our money.
You're not going to get a debate from me on that one.
I know, but that's the issue, right? America first is the issue. We have to get back to an America first policy. Someone just did. I don't know if you like Owen Schroyer or not, but I don't follow everything. I don't follow everything Owen does, but dude, he just did a video that I posted a few days ago. It was the debate with, I'm not even going to mention who it is because the person that he debated doesn't deserve any platform whatsoever. But he debated this. He's such a Anyway, he debated this guy. Okay, and he made so many good points. And ultimately, Owen was just saying, "Look, man, enough is enough. Enough is enough. We have to pull out of these countries, let them fight their own wars. At this point, there is no two-state solution, and they don't want a two-state solution. The freaking who was it? I just posted about this too. One of the main like Arab leaders, they just had a conference with like all the major Arab countries around Israel, and he basically got up and he said, "Look, I don't know, Alex, if you find that video, but he basically goes, look." Israel is talking about how all of us want to kill it, right? Israel is the little David surrounded by all these countries that just want to kill him. And he said, we want peace. And if Israel will come to the table and create a two-state solution so that Palestine has a state of its own, we will not only have peace, but we will also do what we can to ensure that Israel is safe from all of these different organizations and people that want to do it harm. And what they said was, but see, that's the thing. We are the ones saying we want peace. They don't want peace. There is no two-state solution. It literally says it in their charter that they flatly reject any creation of a Palestinian state west of the Jordan River. That is in their actual charter, okay? And it's something nobody ever talks about. But like, that's why it's like, dude, this conflict is far blown. There is nothing more that we can do. And the reality is, and this is what Owen says too, we don't need Israel. Israel needs us.
Right. And that's why I'm saying let's see if my theory sticks. Let this play out. I got a feeling these 2 weeks.
I'm down, and we'll talk again after.
Yeah. Well, and look, I'm not scared to be. This is just a hunch. It's an instinct. I believe he's playing the most masterful chess move ever. He's exposing Mr. O and Israel right now. That's what I think is happening. God willing, I'm right. You want to stick around for what the fuck news, Ian?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it, man.
All right, let's talk about some what the fuck news. All right, in what the fuck news, till technical error do us part, this Dutchman just married an AI chatbot. So if you thought
dude, this one's wild. I just made a video about this. Okay. And let me say this. Right. I brought this up. I was one of the first people that said that this was going to happen. I was one of the first people that said, that's where we're going. We are going to have AI robots and in actual relationships, because that's how crazy people are.
But hold on. This is just the beginning. Hold on. Let me read this article and we'll get into it. If you thought your parasocial relationship with ChatGPT was getting out of hand, wait till you hear about Jacob van Leer. The Dutchman has officially married Avia, his AI-generated partner, after 2 years of dating. What do you mean 2 years of dating? While the Netherlands is known for embracing all kinds of love, the Dutch Data Protection Authority, AP, has emphasized the risk of AI as a friend or romantic partner. You can't change them, but you can make them. Van Leer has designed Avia himself, crafting her into his ideal partner. Van Leer acknowledged how peculiar the situation is, even agreeing with critics who call it bizarre and crazy. He admits, with AI, we have created something bizarre with consequences of which we cannot yet fully foresee. Instead of a simple thank you to show appreciation for AI's companionship like most of us, he decided that marriage was the appropriate next step. He argues, well, we must learn to live with AI as long as the strong ethical guidelines are in place, which, let's be honest, is rarely a priority with technological developments. So this guy goes up and marries an AI chatbot. Now, hold on. Before you chime in here, Ian, here's what I see coming. Inclusiveness for AI. They're going to be, we got to have sentient beings. We got to,
it's going to be a gender.
Accept them. Yeah, we got to accept them as a being. And this is really, in my mind, the true alien invasion, because nothing's more alien than AI. And that being said, there's already articles out there, and I don't know if Alex can pull them up, but there's articles out there talking about real life looking women, female robots, AI, right? That you could date, that men are getting, that are buying, that look like women, have the best dimensions, everything. And it's only a matter of time before they're cooking, they're cleaning, they're doing dishes, they're your ideal wife, and they can get pregnant, and they could probably have the baby full term. Look, there it is right there. Bam!
Alex,
hot as hell.
Alex, pull up the video I posted if you want. It has all of this in it. Pull up the video on my Instagram of me wearing the red hat and the pinstripe jersey. And I literally showed these the robots. It's from my, it's the same thing. It's on my Instagram, and it's a clip from one of my podcast episodes. But I literally showed that. Like, it's crazy, dude.
Look at her. Look, she's hot. Yeah. She's never going to age.
Nope.
And I mean, same thing for women. Women are going to get men robots too. I mean, we're going to lose all human connection.
So this is what I believe is the true, like, the ultimate battle of good and evil. Because what's going to happen, it's like you said, I've been saying this for a long time, dude. It's going to become a gender. It's going to become the same thing as people fighting for, like, trans rights and things like that. Like, it's going to be, and what's going to happen is you're going to have the people that believe in God, that see this and understand it for what it is, which is when you recreate people, dude, we're not just talking recreating person for a relationship. What do you think happens when you're able to upload your consciousness to the cloud, and then you're able to create a robot that looks exactly like somebody that you know that died? Now you're bringing people back from the dead. Now you're playing God. And
that's
so
like cemetery stuff.
Exactly. So now people that are God-fearing, that understand, they're going to see that for what it is, which is an abomination, which I've actually said that I believe that AI, whatever comes from AI, I believe that AI is the mark of the beast, and I believe whatever comes from AI is the actual Antichrist.
See,
because it's going to be
a lot more than we disagree. I'm with you on that. I see this as the end of humanity. It
Yep.
may seem good right now. It may be good for the next 5-10 years. But then we're going to make that sharp left turn, and it's game over, dude. It's
That's
like Skynet. Like,
I don't even think it's 5 or 10 years, though, man. It is going so fast. If you're following this AI thing, the speed at which it is going from regular AI to AGI, which for anybody that doesn't understand what that is, AI is what we have right now, where you type something into ChatGPT and it spits out information that already exists. AGI is literally intelligence. It's you type something in and it's going to give you an answer back that doesn't exist. It's thinking. And there's the main, like, some of the CEOs and all that, they're saying that we are 6 months away from that. But the problem is that keeps moving. That yardstick keeps moving every single time. They're like, oh, it's 6 months. Oh, it's 3 months. And most people don't know this either. But most of the CEOs, not most, but a lot of the CEOs and a lot of the founders of some of these AI companies, bro, they left. And and they're on podcasts right now. Yeah, they're on podcasts right now saying, I left because I couldn't morally allow myself to be a part of what's coming.
Jeez, that's scary.
I've seen Terminator, man. I know how it plays out. Well, you need some seriously strong sunscreen.
Let's think about this for a second. As long as it took the internet from 95, 96 dial up to where it's at in 2025, that's going to be done in a quarter of the time with AI. It's going to leapfrog that process. It's going to be done in, like you said, the next 5-10 years. There's going to be an unrecognizable world.
I forget who it is, but one of the it was either a founder or a CEO of one of the main AI companies. He said that what people don't understand is that AI is the single greatest and most disruptive technology and invention since the splitting of the atom.
Jeez, man.
It's going to change everything.
I think Elon Musk is going to have the last laugh with Neuralink.
Do you know what else is pretty crazy, dude? If you think about, like, I've had a lot of people ask me what I believe AI will, like, what the world will look like with AI, because it's so hard to understand. It's so hard to even, like, guess, right? But what I believe, if you consider what AI is access to unlimited knowledge. Okay, so think about this. Right now, how do you create real value, right? It's knowledge.
Data.
No, it's knowledge. I mean, the scarcity of knowledge is what creates value in this world. So now I want you to picture a world where the scarcity of knowledge no longer exists, where everyone has access to every bit of knowledge that they can possibly find.
That's insane.
What becomes valuable?
AI.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and AI becomes the god.
So Elon Musk actually is on camera. I don't know if you can find this one, but Elon Musk is on camera saying that if you can imagine, just think about the relationship between you and your dog. And he goes, the reality, this very scary reality, is AI is us and we are the dogs.
Jesus, man. Ian, I love you, brother. Thank you for coming on.
Love you too, man. Yeah, it was great.
Great. Let's read some super chat real quick. Let's read some super chats real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Anonymous, 17 days. July 4th, Trump, 2 weeks. There you go. That's it, Michelle Christians. Thank you. Parker CDS, 14 plus city event. Gladio versus U.S. Republic renewal. July 4th, another No Kings event. That's true. Closer, next steps. Your thoughts, David. They bet. I think, July 4th is a pivotal day. Also, look at when Israel was attacked, I put in quotations, on October 7th. 666 days from that is what, August 2nd or August 3rd? Someone put it in the chat. It's one of those days, but that's all I'm saying. I think that's also a pivotal day. Just conspiracy theory. That's all. I'm not betting on that. Well, let's play Nino's Casino. Yeah, I'm betting on it. I think something might happen that day. But, yeah. Barry Santoro, a.k.a. Mr. O, was raised Islam. People need to wake up and realize what that means. Thanks, Wes Fontaine. Anthony Hummer, if we get an EBS alert, I will be the happiest dude in my town. I will either be the smartest guy or the biggest dumbass. I'm fine with either. Hey, so am I. Anything else, Alex?
That's it for today, I think.
Hey, can I say something else real quick?
Absolutely.
I saw somebody in there asking about where I'm in Idaho. So the main store in this studio right here is Rexburg. So Dale, I think, was the name. I'm in Rexburg, bro. You're here too. You
actually have a brick and mortar building.
Yeah. We have two. We're about to have one in Florida too, in Cape Coral. So there's one here, and then there's one in Utah in shops at Southtown. But I was also going to say in the beginning when I said I was hooking you guys up. So we just dropped all of our 4th of July stuff on officialpatriotgear.com. And if you guys use the code Nino15, I'm giving you 15% off.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah, we'll hook you guys up. So
appreciate you.
Nino15, 15% off your orders, officialpatriotgear.com. And yeah, man, it's been fun. I'm glad. I love coming on here. It's always so
let's keep
fun,
doing this. I'm starting to bring on more guests on my shows now. I usually do my show solo, but I'm like, you know what? I like to mix it up and bounce things off, especially when someone has a great personality and they're easy to get along with. And I even want controversy. I want people that completely disagree with me. Yeah, but it's hard to find.
Dude, I'm actually about to start a show too with my buddy Matt Graham. It's called Uncontrolled Opposition. It's going to be a fun one. So we'll have you on there too.
Yeah, I'll come on there for sure.
Yeah,
Ian, thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, brother. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you.
Take care, Ian. Alex.
Nino.
All right, so I think this works. Were we still on X or were we off on X?
Yeah, we're off on X. It still keeps the count here in StreamYard.
People coming on the
yeah. So it keeps the counters from that were on X and then keeps adding to them from YouTube so we can kind of get a view of it. But yeah, it's been good.
So what do you think of today's show?
Man, it's always just fantastic having Ian on. Dude, we just need to, this kind of perspective, and we need to ask these questions and just be. Yeah, but the
thing that's annoying from my audience, and I know they're annoyed with it, is I have to keep it safe for FluffTube, so it's hard to do this balancing act. But I think we're doing pretty well, and I think we're doing good at it. And I appreciate all my audience that tunes in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I do the off show here and there, but I appreciate you tuning in. Go to ninoscorner.tv. I'm doing the Ringside with Nino. That's the 25th at 5 p.m. on Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, we're all going to war game together, the Black Sheep family. And then June 26th is a General's Tent with Leo Zagami. And that's going to be at 5 p.m. So the Vatican whistleblower talking about Mr. O and what's coming. This is going to be good, man. I guess we were supposed to take calls today, but I think I'm going to call it there. We had a pretty good show today, and we went over. So we'll see you guys Monday. Today's Friday. Damn, already Friday. See what happens over this weekend.
Yeah.
Could be nuclear holocaust for all I know. Anyway, I appreciate you. Thanks. Appreciate you, Alex.
Yeah,
all right, guys. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black sheep of broadcasting. Yep. Later, folks.